Apiary, Expanding the Hive. First expansion. Apiary is required to play as this is an expansion. Here's what it all includes. Here's the stats for Apiary, so you know. So let's go ahead and open this and see what's inside. So we flip this open right here. So we have the complete appendix and Expanding the Hive rulebook. So the whole initial setup, and these are what you do to integrate the expansion into the core game, which I'll show you after I show you what's everything that's inside. But you're basically going to be permanently replacing certain things. Then depending on which printing copy you have of Apiary, you're going to possibly replace this one little Explorer token, and then add all these other components into the box. The Automa rules, all components for the expansion are compatible. Whenever Automa takes the grow action, add the following rule: remove the top tile from each stack of display, place each removed one under its stack, then see frames on page 2 for more details. So here's page 2 for the frames, and kind of talking about how the new frames work, because the frames now all are like asymmetric and have abilities on them as opposed to just the plain ones. If you aren't sure what's actually in Apiary, there's a link right here up above that will show you what is in Apiary when we did the unboxing. So this shows you the frames, all the factions, because this is covering everything from this game and the base game. So you're now going to have an appendix for all of that. Here's your recruits. And you'll notice this little E next to certain ones. Those are from this expansion. The carvings, and there's your back. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off first with this envelope. So inside this envelope we have all the different frames. There are 15 of them. So as you can see, you'll still get the 8 points at the end of the game. But now you might be able to be getting resources on some of them. There's some honey, there's some wax, a seed card, Queen's Favor. That's a bunch of Queen's Favor. That is helping you gain your little ships back. Plant 1 seed. This is turn in a resource to get a seed card. This allows you to take Explorer tokens. That's going to be something new, is that you're going to fill up the board with the face-up Explorer tokens, then you're going to have a pile on the side, and this will allow you to take one of those. This is your turning the Explorer tokens in for things. Again, turning resources in for stuff, turning Explorer tokens in for things, and then straight up points. So there are the frames. Now let's get these seed cards open. Toss that up to the side. So here are new ones, and again, if you're not sure, you can do the upper part. You can always spend it for a wild resource, or you can plant it for some endgame abilities. And you will notice, as I said, there's a little E down here in the corner. That is to denote it is from the expansion. So there is all the new seed cards. Let's put that back in my envelope for now. And let's dump the stuff out from underneath. So now we have more factions. I believe they said one of these was a reprint. Top bar, the as, or maybe I'm thinking of more of the actual faction tiles and not the ships. The Lions, the Smith, the Hexagon, the National, the Gum. Now we get into your new tiles. So this is something I really liked in this one, is that shuffle these new tiles into their respective stacks. So all of these are brand new tiles that will be going in their stacks. You're permanently going to replace the Engineer and Pharmacist recruit tiles with their updated versions. And then if you have the 2 seed card printed one that was in the first printing, you're going to be replacing it with this one. Then you're going to add the Sidoni, a new faction, to the stack. You're going to replace Artie and Sekro. These are new dance tiles that are going to be providing points instead of Queen's Favor. So you're going to shuffle these in. You're going to add these to the stack. And then these 4 new existing Explorer tokens. So give me 1 minute. I'm going to show you exactly what you're replacing, and then I will show you how it all does still indeed fit back into the box. Let's get into what's replaced. So this was the previous appendix. This is the new complete appendix, so this goes away. We keep this. Your old pharmacist and engineer. So the old engineer was that any of your lightning bolts cost 1 less wax. In this one, instead you're going to be replacing up to 1 of those, the cost, with a fiber. This costs 1 more to get as well. And then the pharmacist was you used to be able to retrieve 1 worker and collect the income. Now you may retrieve a different worker, so not the one that you're using for research, and then plus 1 strength and collect income, so kind of just adding a little bit of extra wording and tweaks there, and now it is worth 1 extra victory point at the end of the game as well. You are going to be replacing these basic frame tiles that just gave you seed cards with these new ones that, as I showed, give you different resources. We had the first printing, so we had the little 2 seed card is getting replaced with the 1 seed card Explore token. And then finally you have your factions. So the previous Secro, it's the start of the game, you would build 2 face-up workers for free, and you would start with a 2 and a 1. When you flipped it over, you'd be getting 2 points per worker in your hive at the end of the game. Now, instead, you're going to be building 1 face-up for free at the start of the game. When you flip it over, you're going to build another one, and now the bees are only going to be worth 1 per each at the end of your game. So, decreasing the points, and then spreading out the 2 free builds between the front and the back. For Artie, the old one used to be whenever you place a worker, you may adjust its strength by +1 or -1, and it would start with a 2 and a 1. Now it is whenever you place a strength 3 worker, you can pay resources to take the action as if it were a strength 4 worker, and you start with a 2, a 1, and a 1. And then when they flip over, Artie still had the power, but then when you did adjust it, you gained a point. This one is that if you do so, you also gain a point. So those are the factions and tokens you are replacing. Let me get it all inside the box and show you that it still fits. So here we are, back with the game. There is no lid lift. See if I can flip that over and kind of show you. No lid lift. We open this up. We have the appendix. We have all of that stuff. The automa, the teaching guide, the rules. The player aids are all right there. Here is all of the boards now. There are quite a lot. Here is the board. Now I will say this is nice and snug. There's a little bit of room left in the farms and in those ones, but this one in particular is a little tight. Under here I have my resources, which is still fine. The cards are getting kind of full, and it did seem like the top dance token does stick up in the card section, but it is slightly higher over here in the planet section, so it is still holding it snug. But all the cards fit in there, all the tiles, there's all of your factions. The bee mini I used to actually have over here, but now because of how high the cards are, I'm having to kind of maneuver him more into this corner. So again, put that on top. Put all of our ships. So as you can see, it is close to the top, but as long as you start kind of manipulating where you're putting your books, everything should be all fine and hunky-dunky dory, like so. Could even probably put them in more normal, and then badow, easily back into the box. So again, that was the expansion for Apiary called Expanding the Hive. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you'll go down and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell for this channel to see us do more unboxings. They are usually typically a little bit different than this, where I will actually teach the game, but with this only being an expansion, I wasn't about to teach the entire game for just the expansion, because if you're buying the expansion, more likely you already know how to play the game. See you on the next one.